Okay, I'm going to give you guys a quick and short little mini writing lesson. We have a lot of writing things that we're doing in the lab, so I wanted to cover these things with you and make sure that you can follow them. I'll put it on YouTube, then you can go back and you can watch it again if you need. Savannah, I'm going to come up and I'm going to have you be my artist. So as I talk and as I write, you can draw pictures over here. In the class, I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm saying, pay attention to what Savannah is drawing, and see if you can remember that. I might take a moment to explain some things to you too, where we'll use our power teaching methods. You remember class, and you guys, yes, and then I tell you something, teach, and you guys, okay. Remember? Okay, here we go. Adverbs. When you guys are writing, one thing that I notice is you use adverbs way too much. Just to make sure you remember, an adverb are words, or an adverb is a word that usually ends with ly. So when we think of ly, here are a couple words or examples for you. Let's go with quickly, angrily. Draw them big, Savannah, so that everybody can see. And happily. These are words that are adverbs. They usually will describe a verb, and we don't want to use them too much. An adverb ends with ly, it modifies a verb, and we don't want to use them too much. How many of you understand that? Let's see your thumbs. Thumbs up. All right, good. I want you to turn to your neighbor, and I want you to use hand gestures and facial expressions to tell them what an adverb is. You guys ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Teach.
Okay. Okay.
Hold on. You can do way more better than that. Let's try again. Teach.
Okay.
Good. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Class?
Yes.
Thank you. So here we have angrily, and we have happily. The thing is, when you are writing, the situation in your creative writing should tell us if the characters are happy or if they're angry or if they're in a hurry. You should not have to tell the reader that they said it angrily or they happily walked out of the building. Show it in the situation. Adverbs make your writing weak, so don't use them. Try to use as few as possible in our writing prompts, especially in creative writing. Okay? All right, moving on to point number 2. You can erase that. Point number 2 is run-on sentences. With run-on sentences, we have one main problem. And the main problem is that we're missing punctuation. Remember, a compound sentence is when we combine two simple sentences. I'm going to write an example up here. The first simple sentence is, Paul ate a burger. Yeah, draw me in here first. Paul ate a burger. Is it a simple sentence? Hello? Or class, is this a simple sentence? Yes, it is, because it has a subject and a verb. Paul is the subject does the action. Will you circle that, Savannah? The whole thing? Paul and the subject. There we go. And ate is the verb. Ate is the verb. The verb is our action word. Please circle that. Anytime you have a subject and a verb working together, you have something that can stand alone as a simple sentence. And we put the period on the end. But Paul did something else. Let's see. Paul watched TV. What is the subject in this sentence?
Paul.
Paul, right. Paul is the subject. What is our verb?
Watch.
Watched, piece of cake. There we go. Subject and verb. That makes another simple sentence. But what if we wanted to combine the two? if we wanted to combine them, and this is where we make the huge mistake. You can leave your drawing there if you want. Paul ate a burger. Paul watched TV. This is where you mess up. This is where you guys cause run-on sentences, but it's an easy fix. And we can fix it right here in this area. Because what you must have for a compound sentence is a comma and a conjunction. So we put a little comma right here, and we put a conjunction. Our conjunctions are and, or, but. Don't draw but. Those are our most common conjunctions. So when you combine two sentences, Paul ate a burger, comma, and Paul watched TV. Now that is a compound sentence that is grammatically correct. We might use a pronoun. Pronoun is the next point that I wanted to talk to you about. You have a question?
Yeah, do you have to say Paul? Could you say Paul ate a burger and watched TV?
You could. You sure could. That would be fine. But I wanted to show you guys how to combine two simple sentences. Or you could say, he watched TV. So I want you to turn to your neighbor and explain to them what a run-on sentence is. Thumbs, quickly, do you understand what a run-on sentence is?
Yes.
All right, use expressions and gestures. Teach.
Okay.
Taylor. No, film me. Yeah, I'm like the coolest thing you can be on that camera right now. I'm Andy. He's got really big eyes. You know that? I didn't know it was He's good. You do have your laugh. You got like Asian plates. I have a little cheeky face.
Class. Okay, I think you have the run-on sentence. The last thing I want to talk to you about is your use of pronouns. A pronoun, quickly, takes the place of another noun. Usually takes the place of proper nouns. So I could say Paul ate a burger and he watched TV. That would be correct use of a pronoun. He is referring to Paul. That way I don't have to say Paul twice. Right? I can tell you all to get to work. I say, all right, y'all, it's time to do the bell ringer. Instead of calling you each by name and taking all that time, I can use pronouns, and it saves time. But where you get in trouble with pronouns is when you use them too much. How do we know that he is talking about Paul? What if I'm talking about me and Caleb? What if I say Paul ate a burger and he watched TV? Yes, sir?
Because it says it in the beginning of the sentence.
In our sentence, we have what's called an antecedent. The pronoun is usually talking about the antecedent. That would be the proper noun that comes before it. So in your writing, you only do this if you're talking about the pronoun or the proper noun that's in the same sentence. If you're talking about two different subjects, two different people, let's use the name instead. All right? So if I'm wanting to say Caleb, if I'm wanting to say Paul ate a burger and he watched TV, don't do that. It'll make your writing weak. It'll make your creative stories weak and confusing. And once your reader gets confused, they're done with you. They're not going to continue reading. So instead, we could say, and Caleb, just go ahead and use the proper noun. That is much stronger writing. All right? You guys understand that? A pronoun takes the place of a proper noun. Thumbs if you understand. I want you to explain that to your neighbor, and then we'll move on to the next part of the lesson. Ready? Teach!